When you look at the 60s and you look at the black leaders, you look at Martin Luther King, you look at Malcolm X, you look at now, and I remember me and Lord Jamar were talking about this. I don't know who the leader of Black Lives Matter is. Well, you also don't see any clear leaders in Black Lives Matter. You had D. Ray. He's been kind of the face of Black Lives Matter for a while.
Why, when he's not the leader? You see what I'm saying?
There's no real
Why is he? There is leaders. This is what I'm telling you. They're lesbians. They're black lesbians.
I think there is one.
Yeah, there's two young ladies from the Bay Area.
You see what I'm saying? But yeah. I have no idea who it is. I know there's D. Ray. We've interviewed him before. He's somewhat prominent, but how come there's no one at the level of a Martin Luther King or a Malcolm X today?
And honestly, that's why I ain't going. I feel like that is a vacant space, and
right.
I want to utilize my voice. I never would ever say I would be able to be a Malcolm X or a Martin, but I'm inspired by brothers like Harry Belafonte who backed those gentlemen. I'm inspired by Dick Gregory, who is also a mentor of mine, who backed those gentlemen, who was one of the greatest stand-up comics to give opportunities to everybody, to Bill Cosby, to Richard Pryor, and was still a civil rights activist. I feel like I'm an activist at heart, and that's why I said, and that's one of the reasons why I said, if I'm gonna be speaking on these things, if I'm gonna be in these forums, I made all the money that I want to make. Now it's time to educate and build up myself to be able to speak for a community. So, and Pac said it best. I may not change the world, but I'm definitely gonna spark the mind that will. And that's what we got to do. We can't think about, I want to be the next person, or we need to find our next leader. We all can be leaders. We all can make a difference. And that's why I created the Halo Awards for Nickelodeon. It stands for helping and leading others, spreading that halo effect, because one good deed can change the world. As corny and cliche as that sounds, I feel like the millennials, whatever, I love y'all, do y'all thing, but these post-millennials, these kids who don't give a fuck what color their skin is, who in the sandbox, and everybody's beige, and everybody, you know what I mean? They're gonna do some remarkable things, because it's not gonna be about separating each other. It's not gonna be about infusing hate, because they're all connected through technology, through the infrastructure in a way that we've never been before. And that's why the purists are so upset and so riled up, because they know they're a minority now. They know that's why they mad. They making the most noise and saying that they're the ones that need to step up, because they know we got a couple more years and ain't gonna be no more of them. And so as we all come together as humanity, as the human race, this post-millennial generation is gonna take it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Hopefully, we gonna be old saying, man, we did it, but we in the fight right now. It's a real fight right now.
I mean, but if you take a look at what's happening now, like when you look at the white people that have had the power in this country for so long,
right? They don't want to let it go.
They don't want to let that go.
They nervous. That's why they out there upset, and I get it. You know what I mean? If this was your house for 400 years and if somebody come in and move your ass out, you gonna have some complaints. So, hey, I'm all the way with it, man. Like I'm up for a good fight. You know what I mean? It's a competition. You had a 500-year head start. Nigga, I'm on your ass.
I mean, have you ever had a situation where you think you lost a business deal over your stance on certain things?
All the time. I've turned down business deals, like multi-million-dollar deals, just because.
Okay. So don't name the names, but give me an example of something you've turned down.
I turn down fast food stuff all the time. Because I feel like a lot of these fast food companies are destroying our inner cities and not giving back enough. If I do to any deal you see me take, I ask them what's their nonprofit do for inner cities, what's their nonprofit do for African Americans, what's their nonprofits do for Latinos, and if it lines up with mine, then I rock with them. And that stuff matters to me first and foremost. But there's also been times where I've said, because of my turban. You know what I mean? People get calls and complaints all the time, which is the most racist and culturally insensitive thing I've ever heard. But they were like, well, does he have to wear the turban on this? And as soon as they ask that question, I'm like, I'm good. We cool. Even if I didn't plan on doing it, because I know I'm professional. I dress for the occasion. You know what I mean? Like, but just when someone asks a culturally insensitive question like that, that usually turns me off.
What's your take on the whole Kaepernick thing and how he took his stand?
I salute Kaepernick. I love everything that he's standing for. That is an individual, and he's utilizing his platform. And I feel like I'm in a very similar place, and I feel his energy because that's why, like, man, I read like 5 books a week, trying to learn so much more because I know the media, I know people are going to be at me asking questions, and I want to give the strongest, most firm answer that represent my beliefs. But they'll throw so much shit at you and try to get these little soundbite fights going, and this person said this and this person said this, to sensationalize and separate that you almost don't even want to talk. You know what I mean? You want to say what you got to say and then get out. And I feel like the media is on him so much because his brother is standing for what he believes in, but at certain times they trying to trip him up. And I rock with him, man, because anybody who stands for what they believe in, don't give a fuck about what the media say, don't give a fuck about what all these people say, and they truly feel is right in their spirit, I salute that.
Well, no, I mean, I think he realizes that his legacy is going to go down for, his stance on social issues as opposed to football.
Absolutely.
Because, he was a good football player, but he's not considered one of the absolute greats.
As long as he continues to feed those fruits to the community, I don't have no problem with that. Jim Brown, but he's one of the best to ever do it.
Right.
but same thing. When civil rights came, he was right there. Muhammad Ali, the best. Right there. Mm-hmm. Paul Robeson, like I spoke of, Paul Robeson was so cold. Cats don't even know. Not only was my dude a football player, he was also a theatrical actor, a singer, like all this. But people knew him for being an activist, for being somebody who inspired Malcolm X, who inspired all of these people. And by the time he was a little older when the civil rights movement happened, but he's the one that spawned all of that mindset that we truly are kings and that we truly are equal, if not at a place to where we can do. Imagine you saw this dude at like 6'7" that's singing, dancing, playing football, owning businesses. You're gonna be like, yo, there's something special about that dude. And with Kaepernick, he's a gladiator. He's a quarterback in the NFL, and he's standing for what he believes in. That's inspiring.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, one of the things he's kind of getting bashed for right now is some of his comments about Fidel Castro.
Right.
What's your take on Fidel Castro?
And that's the thing. I honestly believe we have to educate ourselves. Soon as I started seeing all of this stuff go down with Fidel, I knew a little bit, and I had studied a little bit about Che, you know what I mean, more than Fidel. So I knew a little bit, and I knew that there's 2 sides, or I'll say there's 3 sides to every story. So I started doing a little bit more research on Fidel, and then the meeting with Malcolm X, and how he gave refuge to Sister Shakur and all of those type of things. Right. And I respect and saluted all of the things that he did in apartheid. But there's some people, just like in any government system, that don't love him and felt like he was an oppressor in the same way. But people feel the same way about Barack Obama. There's people who love Obama, and there's people who say there's some people we have bombed that think Obama ain't shit. That because there's babies that have lost their lives in countries that went, because war in itself is a horrible thing. So for me to pass judgment on a man that I haven't done enough research on personally, I can't speak and don't have the liberty to speak to that. But I believe that man, as a leader, and what he did represented for a group of people that did agree with him and some that didn't agree with him.